was 11 when my grandmother locked me in the attic because my younger brother needed the guest room for his gaming setup. When I asked her where I was supposed to sleep, she laughed. "You'll manage." That was 9 months ago. Today, she's on her knees begging me to come back home. My grandmother raised us after the accident. My brother Ethan is her biological grandson. I'm adopted, the daughter her son took in before he died. This one fact has poisoned every moment of my childhood. Grandma Dorothy worships Ethan like he's made of gold, while I'm treated like the help. We're only 18 months apart, but our lives couldn't be more different. Every achievement of his gets framed photos, special dinners, Facebook posts bragging to all her church friends. Meanwhile, when I won the regional spelling bee, she forgot to pick me up from the ceremony. But Ethan never treated me like she did. When Grandma wasn't watching, he'd sneak me extra dessert, help with my homework, take the blame when something broke. On my 10th birthday, Grandma refused to acknowledge it at all, so Ethan pretended he was sick and convinced her to let him stay home from school. When she left for her bridge club, he decorated the kitchen with streamers and made me a cake from a box mix. It was lopsided and tasted like vanilla and pure love. We sang happy birthday so loud the neighbors complained. When I got pneumonia and Grandma said I was faking for attention, Ethan threatened to call child services until she took me to the hospital. The doctor said another day, and my lungs might have collapsed. So even though Grandma called me the charity case and your brother's burden, I survived because Ethan made sure I knew someone cared until the day he stopped caring altogether. It was 3 days before his 14th birthday. I woke to Grandma yanking clothes from my dresser, throwing everything into trash bags. Ethan says he needs a proper space for his new computer and monitors. "You're moving to the attic, where it gets to 90 degrees in summer and freezing in winter, where the insulation is so bad you can hear everything happening below. Where will I sleep?" My voice came out small and broken. "There's a cot up there," Grandma said, not looking at me. "You should be grateful. Some orphans don't even have that much." I looked at Ethan, standing in the doorway in his pajamas. He wouldn't meet my eyes. His jaw was clenched, hands shoved deep in his pockets. "Ethan?" I whispered. He finally looked at me, and what I saw made my stomach drop. Guilt, yes, but also something harder. Determination. "Sorry, Mara. I really need the space." It took me an hour to accept this wasn't some elaborate prank. When reality finally hit, I collapsed on the hallway floor and sobbed so hard I threw up. The one person who'd made this bearable had chosen a gaming setup over me. Grandma stepped over me like I was a piece of furniture and kept packing. Eventually, survival instinct kicked in. I went numb, grabbed what I could carry, and climbed the narrow stairs to the attic. Then I called the only other person who might help, my dead father's sister, Aunt Iris. After Ethan's betrayal, I had no idea what she'd say. We'd only met a handful of times at mandatory family events, but she answered on the second ring, and when I explained everything, her voice went cold and sharp. "Pack your essentials. I'm 2 hours away. I'll be there before dinner." I didn't eat lunch, didn't say goodbye to Ethan when he knocked on the attic door, just sat on the cot surrounded by trash bags and waited. 40 minutes before Aunt Iris was supposed to arrive, my phone rang. Ethan's name lit up the screen. I almost didn't answer, almost let it ring through to voicemail, but something made me pick up. "Mara, please." His voice was ragged, desperate. "Please don't hate me." I said nothing. "Are you alone?" he asked. "Yes. Can you FaceTime? I need to show you something." The video connected. Ethan's face filled the screen, pale and tear-streaked. Then he turned the camera around. His arms were covered in bruises, fresh ones, purple and yellow, fingerprint-shaped. And on his ribs, visible through his lifted shirt, more bruises in the unmistakable pattern of someone grabbing, shaking, hurting. I gasped. "She's been doing this for months," Ethan whispered, camera back on his face. "Ever since I told her I wanted to split my trust fund with you when I turn 18. She said if I ever mentioned it again, she'd kick you out completely. Make sure you ended up in foster care where I'd never find you." My entire world tilted sideways. "I needed you out of the house before she does something worse," he continued, words tumbling out fast. "I heard her on the phone with her lawyer yesterday, trying to figure out how to revoke Dad's custody arrangement. If she succeeds before you're 18, you'll be back in the system. But if you're living with Aunt Iris, you're safe. Do you understand? I didn't abandon you." "I'm trying to save you." My throat closed up. "Ethan, what do I do?" "Nothing yet. Just go with Aunt Iris. I'll figure out the rest." He glanced toward his door. "She's coming. I have to go." The call ended. I sat there shaking, my mind spinning, relief that Ethan hadn't betrayed me mixed with horror at what he'd been enduring. And underneath it all, rage at Grandma Dorothy for every awful thing she'd done to both of us. When Aunt Iris arrived, I met her at the curb before she could ring the doorbell. She took one look at my face and pulled me into a hug that smelled like lavender and safety. "Let's get you out of here," she murmured. We loaded my trash bags into her car. As we drove away, I saw Grandma watching from the window, arms crossed, face smug. She had no idea what was coming. Aunt Iris lived in a small house with a garden and cats and bookshelves covering every wall. She set me up in her spare room, which had actual furniture and warm blankets and windows that let in real sunlight. Over tea that night, I told her everything. The favoritism, the cruelty, the attic. She listened without interrupting, her expression growing darker. "And Ethan?" she finally asked. "How does he fit into this?" I hesitated. Ethan had asked me not to tell anyone yet. But this was Aunt Iris, who'd driven 2 hours to rescue me without question. "He's being abused," I said quietly. "Physically, by Grandma. Aunt Iris's teacup clattered against the saucer. What? I showed her the screenshots I'd taken during our FaceTime call. Her hands shook as she zoomed in on the bruises. That monster, she breathed. I knew Dorothy resented your adoption, but I never imagined she'd hurt her own flesh and blood. She's trying to revoke my custody before I turn 18, I added. Ethan thinks if she does, I'll end up in foster care. Over my dead body. Aunt Iris's voice was steel. I'm calling my lawyer first thing tomorrow. We're getting emergency custody, and then we're getting Ethan out of there too. I wanted to believe her, but doubt crept in. What if she fights it? She has money, connections, church people who think she's a saint. Then we fight harder. Aunt Iris squeezed my hand. You're not alone anymore, Mara. Neither is Ethan. That night, I barely slept. Every creak of the house made me think Grandma had found me. But when I woke up the next morning, Aunt Iris was making pancakes and humming, and for the first time in months, my chest didn't feel compressed by dread. Over the next week, Aunt Iris moved fast. Her lawyer filed for emergency custody of me, citing neglect and emotional abuse. They also contacted Child Protective Services about Ethan's bruises. Grandma called Aunt Iris exactly once, screaming about kidnapping and legal action. Aunt Iris calmly explained that I'd left voluntarily, that we had photographic evidence of abuse, and that if Grandma wanted to make this a legal battle, she was welcome to try. Grandma hung up. Ethan and I texted constantly, but only when he was certain Grandma couldn't see his phone. He told me she was pretending nothing had happened, acting like my absence was a personal choice she'd graciously allowed. She keeps saying I'm better off without your drama, he texted one night. I want to scream at her. Don't, I wrote back. Just hold on a little longer. 2 weeks after I'd left, CPS showed up at Grandma's house for a wellness check. Ethan texted me from the bathroom while they interviewed him. They saw the bruises. They're talking to her now. She's lying about everything. My heart pounded. What happens next? I don't know. They're taking photos, writing stuff down. An hour later, my phone rang. Not Ethan. Aunt Iris. CPS just called me, she said. They're removing Ethan from the home tonight. He needs a temporary placement. I told them he could stay here if you're comfortable with that. Yes, I said immediately. Of course, yes. Ethan arrived 3 hours later with a social worker and one backpack. He looked exhausted, hollowed out, but when he saw me waiting on the porch, his face crumpled. We crashed into each other, holding on like drowning people. I'm sorry, he kept saying. I'm so sorry. You saved me, I whispered back. You saved both of us. The social worker gave us space while she talked logistics with Aunt Iris. Eventually, they called us inside for a family meeting. Ethan would stay temporarily while the investigation continued. Grandma was being evaluated for potential criminal charges. Both of us would need therapy. The whole situation was a bureaucratic nightmare, but we were together, and that was what mattered. That night, Aunt Iris ordered pizza, and we watched movies on her couch, the three of us squeezed together with cats purring on our laps. It felt impossibly normal after months of chaos. During a quiet moment, Ethan turned to me. I meant what I said about the trust fund. When I turn 18, half of it is yours. You don't have to do that, I started, but he shook his head. Dad would have wanted it. You're my sister, not by blood, but by choice, and that matters more. Aunt Iris smiled. Your father would be proud of both of you. The investigation took 3 months. Grandma hired expensive lawyers and tried to spin everything as misunderstandings. She claimed the bruises were from sports, that I was a troubled teen who'd run away, that she was the victim of slander. But CPS had evidence, medical records showing injuries consistent with abuse, my testimony about years of neglect, statements from teachers who'd noticed things but hadn't known how to help. The court removed Ethan from her custody permanently. Aunt Iris was granted legal guardianship of both of us. Grandma was charged with child abuse and required to attend parenting classes, though neither of us would ever live with her again. The day the judge finalized everything, we celebrated with ice cream and relief so profound it felt like breathing after being underwater. But Grandma wasn't done yet. She started calling, leaving voicemails that alternated between rage and manipulation. How dare you turn my own grandson against me, morphed into, I only ever wanted what was best for you both. She sent letters, showed up at Aunt Iris's house uninvited, cornered Ethan outside his new school. Each time, we documented it and filed reports. Eventually, Aunt Iris got a restraining order. Then, 6 months after Ethan moved in, everything changed again. Grandma had a stroke. A major one that left her partially paralyzed and unable to live alone. Her church friends called Aunt Iris, begging us to help, to forgive, to be family. She's all alone, one woman said tearfully. She needs you. Aunt Iris's response was ice. She should have thought of that before she abused 2 children, but Ethan surprised me. I want to see her, he said quietly one night. Not to forgive her, just to understand why. I didn't want him to go alone, so I went too. The nursing home smelled like antiseptic and defeat. Grandma was in a wheelchair by the window staring at nothing. She looked smaller, frailer, nothing like the tyrant who'd ruled our childhood. When she saw us, her eyes filled with tears. Her speech was slurred from the stroke, but we understood enough. I'm sorry, please, so sorry. Ethan's jaw tightened. Why did you hit me? Scared, she managed. Losing you, like I lost your father. So you hurt me to keep me close? His voice cracked. That doesn't make sense. She couldn't explain further. Maybe there was no explanation that would ever be enough. I stepped forward. You called me a burden for 6 years, made me feel like I didn't deserve to exist. Do you understand what that did to me? More tears. Wrong. I was wrong. We stayed for 20 minutes. Not because we owed her anything, but because we needed to see that the monster from our past was just a broken old woman now. It didn't erase what she'd done, but it helped us understand that hurt people, and the cycle had to stop somewhere. As we left, Grandma grabbed Ethan's hand with her working arm. Please forgive me, Ethan gently pulled away. Maybe someday. But not today. We walked out together, and in the parking lot, Ethan started crying. Not sad tears, but something like release. I don't have to be angry anymore, he said. She can't hurt us now. Over the next year, life found a rhythm. Ethan and I both started therapy. We learned about trauma and coping mechanisms and how to trust again. Aunt Iris encouraged us without pushing, gave us space to heal at our own pace. Ethan made the honor roll. I joined the debate team. We argued over bathroom time and whose turn it was to do dishes, normal sibling stuff that felt like a miracle. On my 16th birthday, Aunt Iris threw me a party. Real friends came, not just people Grandma approved of. There was a cake with my name spelled correctly and candles I actually got to blow out. Ethan gave me a framed photo from that birthday when we were 10, the one he'd organized in secret, both of us covered in frosting and grinning. So you remember someone's always cared, he said. I hugged him so hard his ribs probably bruised. Grandma sent a card that day. Aunt Iris intercepted it before we could see it, but told us it existed. She wants to be part of your lives again, Aunt Iris said carefully. But that's your choice, not mine. Ethan and I looked at each other. We'd talked about this possibility in therapy, what we'd do if Grandma tried to reconnect. Not yet, I said. Maybe never, Ethan added. That's okay too, Aunt Iris assured us. When Ethan turned 18, he accessed his trust fund exactly as planned. He split it 50-50 with me, despite his lawyer's advice against it. You're my sister, he said simply. This is what family does. We used part of the money to hire a better lawyer for Aunt Iris, ensuring she'd have formal adoption papers for both of us. The rest went into college funds. The day those adoption papers were finalized, all three of us cried happy tears in the courthouse. We were finally, legally, permanently a family. Grandma called that night somehow, having heard the news. Aunt Iris put her on speaker. Please, Grandma's slurred voice begged. Let me see you. I'm dying. The doctors say months, maybe weeks. Ethan and I looked at each other. After everything she was asking for mercy she'd never shown us. We'll think about it, Ethan said finally. We did visit, once, 2 weeks before she died. She apologized again, more coherently this time. Explained that her own childhood had been violent, that she'd never learned how to love properly, that fear had made her cruel. None of it excused what she'd done, but it helped us understand. When she died, we attended the funeral. Not for her, but for closure. We stood at the back, held hands, and let ourselves feel whatever came without judgment. Afterward, at the reception, her church friends approached us with sad smiles. She loved you both so much, one woman said. Even if she didn't always show it right, Ethan's response was gentle but firm. Love doesn't hurt people. What she did wasn't love. We left early, drove home to Aunt Iris's house, and made dinner together in the kitchen while music played and cats wound around our ankles. Later on the porch under stars, I turned to Ethan. Do you think we'll ever fully get over what happened? He considered this. I don't know. Therapy helps, time helps, but some scars don't disappear. They just become part of your story. Our story, I corrected. He smiled. Yeah, our story. Inside, Aunt Iris was washing dishes and humming the same song she'd hummed that first morning when I'd woken up safe in her house. The same song she hummed now every morning, a promise that home could be soft and kind, that family could be chosen, that healing was possible even when it felt impossible. Ethan and I sat in comfortable silence, watching fireflies blink in the garden, two kids who'd survived the worst and found something better on the other side. We weren't perfect. We still had bad days, nightmares, moments when old wounds ached, but we also had this, each other, Aunt Iris, a future we got to build ourselves, and somehow, impossibly, that was enough.